known for their innovations in many fields. For the next rooftop session, we have invited some of Israel's top high-tech leaders whose companies aim to help the world. From medical technology trailblazers to agricultural innovators, you'll hear from the most thought-provoking innovators and entrepreneurs. The first startup that we're pleased to introduce this morning is CureFacts. CureFacts is the first ever evidence-based medicine platform. CureFacts provides a meeting point for established science, patients' preferences, and doctors' experiences. CureFacts breaks through the search engine noise and enables anyone, at no cost, to choose only effective and safe treatments, and most importantly, to dismiss pointless and harmful treatments. Please welcome Ari Manor, founder and CEO, CureFacts.
It's working? You hear me at the back? Okay. So first of all, welcome. I really appreciate the fact that you said no to the air condition, came up to the rooftop. Probably you're passionate about startups. And I have 12 minutes and then several questions. And I'll try to describe what we do. So let's start. So first I'm going to ask you a question. We do know that some medical treatments do some harm, and we do know that some medical treatments are ineffective. And we do know that this situation is even more so in the United States. United States has the biggest problem. They spend 8 times more than the world average on healthcare, with no better results than Europe, Canada, or other places. I want to ask you, what do you think kills more people? Treatments that are damaging or treatments that are ineffective? So just to practice this, we think that treatments that are damaging kill more people. Stand up. Okay, that was good. No more exercise, it's warm, okay? Who thinks treatments that are ineffective do more damage? Stand up. Okay, so I have a smart audience here. The thing is, let's see why it happens actually. So this is just one example from Texas. Texas spends twice than the average states in United States. So they spend 60-fold more than the average country in other places. And chain of clinics changed the management, and the new management told the doctors, do not send to unnecessary treatments, okay? We are actually going to bonus you, to give you money, if you don't send. For example, if you send to an MRI and it's unnecessary, it's $10,000, we'll give you half. We'll share with you the things we save. However, do send to whatever is really needed. Only don't send to unnecessary treatments. Mortality rate the following year, and we're speaking about hundreds of doctors, tens of thousands of patients, and dozens of clinics. It's a clinic chain. So the mortality rate dropped by 50%. 50%. Can you imagine how many people it is? So the meaning of it, and this is just one example, that actually ineffective treatment, unnecessary treatment kill. One of the questions is, how does it happen? So basically, if I have a medical condition and it deteriorates, okay? And I take something that is ineffective. If you look for cancer treatment in Google, you will find, for instance, lots of lemon. Drink a lot of lemon every day, it's gonna be okay. Whoever listens to this, his condition deteriorates. By the time he gets to the oncologist, it's too late. And this is without mentioning the fact that if I'm in a hospital, I can get an infection or something, okay? So basically, unnecessary treatments really kill, but how can we tell what is unnecessary and what is necessary? So there is something that is called personal medicine, which means it depends. I want to see who you are, and then I prescribe you the right treatment. But there are treatments that are ineffective to everybody. And they're very, very common. In fact, in the last Davos conference, they discussed about 50%, half of the treatments are unnecessary. It kills a lot of people. Worldwide, it kills about 2.5 million people. In United States, as I said, it's number 2 cause of death, and in the rest of the world, it's number 3 cause of death. Now, we don't hear about this. Why don't we hear about this? Basically, because if somebody, for instance, let's speak about the damaging, committed suicide, you write in the cause of death, committed suicide. You don't write, he took antidepressants, and he changed his character, and then he committed suicide. And there are many, many other examples. So if you look at the cause of death, you will not see this on the list. But if you look at the most common causes of death, many of them, like heart attack, stroke, suicide, car accident, and so on, are caused by treatments. And this kills a lot of people, but it also costs a lot of money. If what they said in the last Davos is true, it actually means that $4 trillion in direct medical costs are spent on unnecessary treatment, which is a waste, every year. How do I get to these conclusions? Basically because healthcare is 10% of world expenditure, and if 50% of that is unnecessary, we're speaking about $4 trillion. So it's probably the biggest waste on earth, together with wasted food, okay? Do people look for medical information, or do they trust the doctor? So they do trust the doctor, but they do check sometimes without going to a doctor if it's something not that severe. And many times after they went to the doctor, they want a second opinion, they go to check in the internet, and so on. So much so that actually it's the biggest demand on Google, on internet searches. 1 in 20 searches, which is a lot, is about healthcare, out of which 60% is about medical treatments. More than diagnosis and more than find me a doctor, people look for, is this treatment okay or not? What is this treatment? What other treatments I have, and so on. The meaning is that every year there are 60 billion searches. By the way, half of them in the United States. Why? I mean, United States does not represent half of the population of the world, but it's the biggest problem. People are unsatisfied, so they're looking at Google more than anywhere else. So we have a very, very, very big problem, and the problem includes a very big demand for information that is unanswered, because you get on Google very confusing answers. You can say lemon is good for cancer, lemon is bad for cancer, and after reading and reading, you don't really know what to think, okay? And I'm not speaking about the flu shot, is it good or not? You can read days and still you won't have a clue. It's a major reason of death, and it's the biggest waste on earth. So what is our solution? Our solution is to provide everybody free of charge, which is to the public, free of charge, an evidence-based medicine platform. It's actually, as was said in the introduction, a meeting point for established science, what patients prefer, and what the doctors have experienced and want to share with them. So let's look into these elements. Let's start with the science. What we do is we extract data from systematic reviews which already exist and are actually a combination of all valid clinical trials, because some of them are not valid, combined. It is done by a non-profit organization. It's already there, only the public doesn't have this information. We add to the information several other elements like safety, post-marketing, and so on. And our mission is to take this very, very established scientific knowledge and to make it accessible not only to doctors, but to the public. So how does it look? It looks something like this. And the idea here is that you see red, it's damaging, it's very easy, even if you're almost illiterate, okay? To be more specific, it looks like this. Pretty hard to read here, but basically you see here Advil, and you see that for, I don't know if I have a laser here. Okay, I don't. So you see that for children, it's okay, for common cold. For adults, not so much. And for seniors, it's really bad, it's dangerous. Now, it's the same treatment, but it's different for different age groups. Let's look into the read more of Advil for adults. So it's hard to see, I don't know if you see here, but basically you have many more details. One of the things you have here is what doctors say. And they say that when you have, I will read it, using this treatment can cause severe damage, especially to adults with gastric intentional infections or hidden kidney disease, which are quite common. Now, the thing about hidden kidney disease is that they are hidden, okay? So we take a chance. And the older we get, we take a big chance. Now, Advil, everybody takes Advil, right? Try to avoid it the older you get. This is not the type of information that you will normally get when you just scroll to Google. Another thing that you can say, you can use here is, okay, this treatment is not good, let's go for another one. And I can just press on one of the other green ones, which are good and helpful and safe treatments, and select from them. Behind the scene, what we're trying to do is to use NLP, natural language processing, to extract the data and also to create data, because systematic reviews do not cover currently everything. They cover about 10,000 treatments. There are about 20,000 treatments. So there is automation to do this. And MD, you know what's the hardware of MD or the software? It's not. It's medical doctors. So there is a human touch, and there must be a human touch, because a doctor can tell you about the hidden kidney problem. Our vision is to reduce the frequency of unnecessary and damaging treatments worldwide, but we start where? In the United States. That's the biggest problem. The patient side of the platform is allowing patients that want to register. You don't need to register, but if you want to register, you can tell your preferences, for instance, intensive or mild care and so on. And then the green treatments that fit your preferences will light up with patients like you prefer this and that, okay? And say, oh, something is wrong. They can look at the color of your eyes and of your skin. So doctors can do many things that cannot be given as information from Google or from a website. And they have experience, so they're very important. What we're trying to do is anyone that wants a doctor can be referred to a doctor. There will be a button on each of these cards for the treatments, consult, and then he can get online consulting, like with American Well, or in-clinic visit, and we're starting to arrange it. And that's the only way we're going to make money. Why is it important? Because we worked very hard on a model that will allow us to remain neutral and impartial. I don't care if you drink water as a treatment or take a very, very expensive medication. We don't get any cent from it, okay? We have to remain neutral. How neutral are the competitors? So, for instance, if I look at WebMD, I think you know that it belongs to an investment firm that bought it, and they also own a PR agency that their major clients are big pharma. And they live on advertisements, and they live on sponsorship, and come on, how neutral can that be? Okay? Now, if you look at all the other things, it's almost the same. It's either according to the regulation. In the regulation, there are about 6 on average out of 8 members that are connected to the big pharma with money, and that's the decision, and this is what they follow. Or there are companies like WebMD. So basically what we're claiming is, that we try to be very, very accessible with infographics and so on, but also based on all clinical trial, neutral, and very reliable. So this is basically what we do, and I want to share with you the reason why we're doing it, the why. So there are two reasons. One reason is that we believe everybody are entitled to take good care of their own life and of their dear ones. So it's not a privilege of doctors. We know we need the information in a reliable manner. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. And the second thing, personally, 2.5 million people that die every year translates to 50 people every 10 minutes. So I've been speaking 10 minutes, it's 50 people. It translates to me as a bus, exactly 50 people. We put 50 people into this bus, send it to the ocean, everybody die, they sink, the bus goes out, uploads another 50 people, dies, and so on. Can you imagine the newspaper, if we had a bus like this, every 10 minutes 50 people die? But this is exactly what happens. So hopefully, currently we have a database with 80 treatments. There are 80,000 treatments, including the age groups. We're raising money, and hopefully we're going to cover it very soon to cover everything. And then you can use it and enjoy for better life, for longer life, and for taking care of yourself. Thank you. Three questions, we have time. But before that, I'm just saying, ironically enough, I got a cold before I came here. So I will not shake your hands at the end. Actually, I will go. If you want to remain in touch, we have Facebook, you can connect, CureFacts, we have Twitter, we have LinkedIn, and join our community. This is our email if you want to write us something and share this revolution. Questions? Yes, you need a speaker. Okay.
Is this a business that you're trying to make money?
Basically, the idea is like this. Certainly, the idea is like this. We get commissions from referring to doctors. And number 25 site in the United States alone has more than 10 million visitors. If we get to that position, and we believe we will pass it by far, and 1% will go to a doctor, we have millions of dollars profit every year. So yes, it's actually a baby unicorn. That's the direction. Thank you for caring for my economic situation. It's important.
Ari, how do you choose your doctors? What partnerships will you have?
It's an excellent question. Not all doctors are alike. First of all, our target audience are women. So we want a lot of women. They understand many things. They are the ones that do most of the searches. Actually, more educated women even more. So we want many female doctors. The second thing is they have to be aware of evidence-based medicine. Now, some doctors are aware of that. Some doctors go by the regulations. Now, there is an overlap, but science sometimes shows other things than regulation. We prefer the doctors that look into science. Hope this answers. Last question. Yes?
What stage are you at and when will you launch?
What stage are we and when will we launch? We already launched. It's a working alpha. You can go to curefacts.com and play with flu, common cold, vitamin C, and some other things. The stage is we are raising now a pre-seed, but actually the product is much more advanced. And then we're going to do a seed, and then we're going to have enough money. So
then my last question is
yes.
very topical now, and that is the whole issue of
Can you give her a speaker because
I'll just stand up. Is immunizations, where it's so controversial.
here's the speaker. The microphone, sorry. Working?
No. Something to the effect of, how are you presenting immunizations, which is such a controversial topic?
Okay, I'll have to answer you and then I'll be short. But basically, it depends. What we found is that in every category, for instance, prescription drugs, over-the-counter drugs, immunization, and so on, between 30 to 70%, sometimes even, for instance, herbs, 85% are ineffective to start with, okay? So my guess that in immunization, it's closer to 50% than to 30% from what the data we've already seen. There is a big discussions about it, and we try to represent what science says. So some immunizations are gonna be great, some not at all, okay? And you can write me if you have questions, because I feel bad that we don't have all the data. So if you have a specific medical condition and you need answers, you have my email, I will look into it personally. Okay, thank you.